I read some comic books. So let's just get to it. I'm pretty exhausted at the moment. But anyway, right off the bat, there was this 30th anniversary special for the return of Superman. And, of course, this was the era following his supposed death. And then you had the Reign of the Supermen storyline where you had these four guys show up and everybody wondered, is this Superman coming back? So you had Cyborg Superman, you had a new Superboy, you had a mysterious Superman with glasses, but that was the Eradicator. And then, of course, Steel. And, well, Cyborg was a bad guy. I mean, just look at him. He looks like the Terminator. And was in a sinister plot with Mongol. Superboy was a clone, and Eradicator was the Eradicator. It took on a humanoid form to protect Superman, and just never bothered to tell everybody, oh, he's regenerating back at the Fortress of Solitude. But anyway, the premise of it is Lois, of course, is the temporary editor-in-chief at the Daily Planet because Perry suffered a stroke because he suddenly remembered that Clark Kent is really Superman, and if you do that, you suffer a stroke. With a few exceptions, they get to know. I mean, it's hard to believe, but I mean, at least Spider-Man and Mary Jane had Mephisto do magic to make, But anyway, whatever. He's in a coma, so Lois was going through Perry's journal, which, I would think that's private, But anyway, and it's his recollections of that time when the four other Supermen showed up. And the reason is because they're all back together again. Cyborg Superman is up to no good, supposedly. But it turns out that this time all he really wanted to do was try to restore his wife and friends that were sort of like the DC's take on the Fantastic Four, but they all died except for the Reed Richards one. But instead of Reed Richards, they get Hank Henshaw. So, and he eventually becomes Cyborg Superman. But, I don't know. They didn't realize that. They just thought he was going to blow up the city or some such, So they blast him back to the Phantom Zone. The end. But in the meantime, you catch up on recollections of Perry White, of the different Supermen who came about, and how some people thought this one was the real Superman, and some people thought the other one was, and all that sort of thing. And it's fine. They reunited the original artists from that era, and they still got it. It looks pretty good. And then at the end, after they defeat Cyborg Superman and blast him back to the Phantom Zone, the real Superman shows up and said, hey, I was keeping an eye on you guys. I figured if things got out of hand, I'd come back. But you're just going to watch this happen? Okay. But anyway, it is what it is. It's just a tribute to the now classic storyline. The Death of Superman remains their biggest selling graphic novel, which is the collection of that series, of course. And I imagine the follow-up, Reign of Superman, has done pretty well as well. And so, well, it's been 30 years. Hard to believe. But so they just revisit that. So there you go. Again, it's fine. Didn't blow me away. There's some stupid things here and there, but what are you going to do? So there you go. Return of Superman, the 30th anniversary special. It wasn't really all that special, but, I can't say it was awful. A bit too pricey, but what are you going to do again, Meanwhile, over at Marvel, I looked over what they're doing. Not much, but Hickman's take on the Ultimate Universe, which for all intents and purposes is restored. But what is it exactly? So That was the Ultimate Invasion, which the invader was the maker. So well, he's trapped in his citadel now. So, a new team of Ultimates consisting of Iron Lad, a teenage Tony Stark, Doctor Doom, or is it rather another Reed Richards trapped in the Doctor Doom armor? It seems to tease this. Thor and Lady Sif, because apparently Thor was locked up in prison on Asgard, and then Iron Lad and Doctor Doom free him, and then Lady Sif decides to join in as Thor's probation officer. So they decide to storm the Citadel to free other people that are these artifacts. They've already found Captain America in ice, and they want to figure out how to thaw him out without killing him. So they haven't quite done that yet. And it's basically a tour of what the Ultimate Universe is. And they want to go around and restore people who were, didn't fulfill the lives they were supposed to have due to the Maker changing time. The only real evidence we got of what or see him do what he's done, which was deny Peter Parker the chance to get bitten by the spider. So he never became Spider-Man. So you have to assume he did that all around, but apparently not too much, because there is a Hulk, but he's in this, I don't know, Zen cult type thing. And then there's some X-Men, and they're still around, and they don't care for the world order to be overturned or anything, so there'll be a problem. But anyway, it's intriguing, but does it go anywhere? Ultimate Invasion was intriguing. Did it go anywhere? No. And I think this series is just a tour of that, but it's to relaunch the Ultimate line. I've already seen advertisements for the Ultimate Spider-Man series, which will be Peter Parker. I thought they would establish Miles Morales in his own universe with his own story and go from there, but no, not going to do that. So it's going to be a 30-year-old Spider-Man, meaning he becomes Spider-Man at 30 years of age, and he's already married to Mary Jane and all that. Whatever the events were, that he's always destined to be with Mary Jane, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see what it does, but it's a bit of a letdown. You don't have Brian Hitch's art, except on the cover, but the art's it's decent enough. It's always going to be a hard follow for someone like Brian Hitch. But anyway, I'll stick with it for the time being, but yeah, I suspect it's going to be something of a letdown. So, sticking with Marvel, I saw a review for the current Avengers and thought, well, let me see. And it's not bad. It's this, end of the world scenario, and you already know something's off because Captain Marvel is back in her Miss Marvel suit. Although Captain America is Sam Wilson, so it wasn't completely divergent from the status quo or what have you. And there's no chance of victory. The world's pretty much all destroyed, and one by one they all lose. And then suddenly the Scarlet Witch realizes that this is all just a fantasy. And of course, it is. It's a nightmare. And that's appropriate because it's the work of Nightmare. And so she comes back to reality. Yeah, it's issue 7. So apparently what happened in issue 6, they are taking on this, I don't know, alien city or whatever. And ultimately their goal is they want revenge on Kang the Conqueror. So they've decided they've got no use for the Avengers, who are now all sleeping except Scarlet Witch. And the Vision. He's still, because, android and everything. And they're going to bring in their own superheroes. So I guess this will be a whole lineup of new characters. And did it win me over? Well, it was all a dream. And then what's Nightmare's interest in these people or what have you? I don't know. So maybe I'll check out the next one. I don't know. Besides, also hearing that this was okay back over at DC, said, hey, maybe there's some good things happening over at Detective Comics now that their idiot Gotham War story is over. Well, apparently Batman's possessed by a demon and Catwoman's got to save him, and then I lost interest and didn't finish the book. So maybe I'll have it finished for next week. But yeah, this was pretty much a bust. I guess Ultimate Invasion for the win. Runner-up is the Superman special, and that's just nostalgia and stuff, you know. So there you go. That's what I read. Well, I read some other stuff, but I want to do those. Those were older comics that I'll do a special episode on, and that'll be that. Well, I hope you all had a good week. We'll do it again, hopefully more lively, next week for Mr. Nailsin's Wednesday Comics.